Welcome to the Double R Show, the podcast that features everything about North Lincoln County. The Double R Show, directed and produced by Paul Robertson and hosted by the voice of Lincoln City, Roger Robertson.
Welcome again to another podcast from Lincoln City, Double R here, and with me is a gentleman that is the president of the Lincoln City Kiwanis Club, and we're going to talk about Kiwanis and some other activities that they're involved in. But Josh Santillo, thanks for coming in.
Hey, thanks. Thanks for having me.
Kiwanis means what?
So it's a service organization that supports local youth.
And how do you go about doing that? What kind of activities, Josh, are you into or what?
Yeah, sure. So sometimes we raise funds and use those funds to benefit the youth. We sponsor sports teams. We sponsor musical groups. We sponsor art activities. So we'll spend money on some things, right?
Thursday, you had a group of young people at the Kiwanis Club meeting. They are what?
Right. Coastal Cheer Athletics was here, and we gave them some money to sponsor their activities and help them do the things that they want to do. And they're a very local organization. They've been around 2 years, and they needed the money, so we helped them out with that.
Biggest chunk of change goes to scholarships, so does it not?
Definitely. Yeah, we do $1,000 scholarships every year to the students that are our best and brightest. We focus mainly on community service, so the ones that have really given back to the community. From year to year, we'll give different numbers of scholarships, sometimes 5, 6, 7, sometimes a couple of more, but they're always $1,000 each to whoever is really outstanding.
And they're judged again how?
So community service is what we really look at. We also look at things like leadership, sports, academics, arts, language, culture, but mainly community service. Because we're a service organization, we appreciate it when our local youth are also giving back. So when they're volunteering at their church, and when they're volunteering at Boosters Club, and when they're volunteering at the hospital or something like that. That means a lot to us, so we want to reward that kind of behavior.
How do you raise the money?
We raise the money through putting on Pixie Games. That's where we take games out to local events like Kite Festival and Touch a Truck and things like that. So kids get to have fun by playing the games, and it's also a fundraiser so that the money that comes in helps to pay for these scholarships.
The other thing that I noticed up and down Highway 101 are flags.
Sure.
Tell me about that, because that now is a Kiwanis project to start out as a Lions Club project.
That's right, yeah. When Lions was ready to turn that over, we picked it up for them, and now it's a Kiwanis project. It's the Parade of Flags, the Kiwanis Parade of Flags. It's our biggest fundraiser, I believe, and that's how we fund most of the scholarships. So every major holiday, we put the flags all up and down Highway 101. We also have a new display down at the Ed Johan Plaza, with the veterans display there, and we've got a veterans display at the Cultural Center. So flags everywhere, all up and down the highway.
How does a business or an individual sponsor a flag?
So they can talk to any Kiwanian. We can help sign them up. I forget how much it is. It's about $35, $40 a year, something like that. If you got a business on 101, we can put it right there in front of your business. If you don't, we can put one someplace else along Highway 101 and have your name attached to it.
A number of the flags that go up are outside of the business community, if you will, especially when you get down in the Nelscott area. They're sponsored by individuals that have no tie to a business and or our Kiwanis Club.
That's right, yeah. If an individual say they don't even live in town, they could live in Otis, they can live in Phoenix, Arizona. Who cares? You know, if you want to sponsor a flag, you can sponsor one. We'll find a spot for it. A lot of the ones that you see along, we call it no man's land, down around the rock quarry. Those are all individuals. A lot of the ones you see next to the different signs welcoming you to, Wacoma and Nelscott and the different areas of town, those are individuals.
How many flags? Got any idea?
Oh, gosh. We got 4 routes. Each route probably has, 40 flags. So we're over 100.
That's a pretty good task to put them all up and take them all down.
That's right.
And then maintain them.
That's right.
But it all has to happen.
It does, yeah. We rely on our volunteers. We have a lot of volunteers working, every major holiday. Instead of spending time with their family, they're getting up at 5 a.m. to put up flags and taking them down and putting them away with just enough time to get out to Moe's to watch the fireworks. So
when I first joined the Kiwanis Club, and that now has been a lot of years ago, almost 50 years ago here in Lincoln City, I was the youngest member by far.
Nice.
Now I'm getting to be one of the oldest members
I don't know
by
what you
far.
mean.
But the club is young in age, in stature.
I think so, yeah. We've got a lot of young professionals that are in the club.
It's unusual.
Yeah, I think you're right. I visit other clubs now and then, and I'd say we do have one of the youngest crowds at our club. It's nice to see.
A typical meeting would do what?
Typical meeting is, announcements, do the national anthem, do the Pledge of Allegiance. We'll have a guest speaker. Usually those guest speakers are talking to us about something youth-centered. Maybe they're talking to us about the Lincoln City Playhouse. Maybe they're talking to us about Coastal Chair Athletics, or they're talking to us about a basketball tournament that's going to be hosted. Other times it's not specifically youth-centered. Like Brittany Anderson talked to us about NOAA. I don't think we've ever had someone from NOAA. That was really fascinating. But most of the time it's youth-centered. Sometimes it's not, but there's something that you're going to learn.
How does one become a Kiwanian?
Talk to any other Kiwanian. We'll sign you up.
That's simple.
It is, yeah.
And if there would be a position for them, they could expect to volunteer how many hours in a year, in a week, in a day?
Oh, gosh, it varies. Just about every month we've got something they could volunteer for. We've got people that do maintenance on flags. We've got people that put together the newsletter. We've got volunteer opportunities to put up flags, take down flags. What else do we do for volunteers?
There's just a lot of activities that take place
day
in, day out.
Sure. Oh, Pixie games. We set those
Why
up.
Pixie?
Why what?
Why Pixie?
So, not that long ago, but a couple, 60s, 70s, we had Pixie Land here in the Lincoln City area. And it went out of business, unfortunately, but we're keeping the name alive by introducing Pixie Games. So we've got all the branding from Pixie Land, and we've used that for our Pixie Games. So you'll get to play carnival games at local events like Touch a Truck and Kite Festival and things like that.
President of the Lincoln City Kiwanis Club, Josh Zontillo, has been our first guest. Joining us next will be Dr. Estill Harlan. She is involved with the Lincoln City Rotary Club, and both of these organizations then support Backpacks for Kids, and Karen Doomer will be here to talk about that as well as we continue with the podcast, The Double R Show.
I'm Bruce Polby, reminding you to be prepared. We have a variety of life-saving go kits in stock at Lincoln City Sporting Goods, your electronic superstore in the heart of Lincoln City.
If you're looking for great early garden fresh produce, it's Kenny's IGA in the Bay Area of Lincoln City. 4 generations of Morgans caring for your every grocery need. All of your favorite beverages, a full deli, meat, produce, and of course, groceries.
Mold, fire, biohazard, or water damage in Lincoln County? ServPro is your go-to solution. We specialize in fast, reliable restoration services. From fire damage to biohazard cleanup, we can handle it all for residential and commercial spaces. Call us today at 541-243-2946.
Estill Harlan, Rotarian extraordinaire, are you not?
If you say so.
Why Rotary? What got you into Rotary?
Why Rotary? What got me into it? Well, it's a story. I am the first woman Rotarian in Oregon.
The first woman in Oregon.
And that was 1987, Roger. That's not all that long ago. But before that, women could not be members of Rotary. And my husband, Dale Harlan, was a member of the Milwaukee Rotary Club. He was an attorney in Milwaukee. Well, we had a law office together. He was in the state legislature, on the Board of County Commissioners, well known. But the little wife could be the club's musician. So for 10 years, I was the club's musician. And then the court case came down, and they said, it was for the Elks, but
sure.
Everybody was going to have to comply if they wanted to stay a nonprofit. And so they said, you know what, you've been with us for 10 years. We're going to make you the first woman, and we're going to beat every other club. So they brought me in before the actual gavel dropped on the court case. And so my passion has been for Rotary since 1987.
There is more of a passion there than I anticipated.
Probably, and because not a lot of people know that story. But as you know, I'm pretty involved in town with a lot of things, and I put my value system into my time. And a big part of my value system, and the reason that it goes into Rotary, is because there's such an outreach where everything from the most local activities that can go on to worldwide. For instance, each month we have a project of the month. In July, it was the Solve Cleanup. In August, we're going to gather products for Family Promise, the merchandise and things that they need for Family Promise. Bring those to club meetings each week. We're also going to be involved with community gardens in August. So those are our projects in August. In September, we're going to, and I don't think you know about this yet, and Pat's really involved with this, Pat Robertson. But in September, we're going to have a supply drive for backpacks. So that'll be lots of peanut butter and so forth. And we're going to be bringing that to Rotary Club meetings. In October, we're going to do trail maintenance out at Yocona Natural Reserve. And then November and December, just hang on, because those are our wreath months, and we're going to be selling wreaths that end up being scholarship money for local.
So it isn't all about just writing a check.
It's not all about writing a check. This is just an example of what we do in outreach. But we also write a lot of checks. Especially
scholarships. Talk about that.
Especially scholarships. So these wreaths, we sell over $40,000 worth of wreaths.
So I'm not the only one that buys them.
You are not the only one, but you're my customer. Thank you very, very much. I have about 250 some customers, and I thank you. So we net around $15,000 each year for scholarships. And these are for local kids. And it's also for trade schools. It doesn't have to be just
very
universities.
Good.
Yeah.
And it is only for students coming out of high school now, or can it be other students that...
It's basically for kids coming out of high school now, but we also ask kids who are in university if they need a follow-up scholarship to apply. Now, we'll put them secondary to, it depends on how many scholarship applications we get, but we have a number of kids who are getting their second scholarship as well.
Knowing you, knowing education, I know that education is probably as much of a passion as Rotary is to you.
Pretty much. I was on the board of Clackamas Community College for over 20 years. I'm now and have been for about 10 years on the board of trustees for George Fox University. That's where I got my doctorate. I chose to go back after I had sent my children and grandchildren there. I said, now it's time for me to get a doctorate. So in business administration. So no secrets here, full disclosure, I was 70 when I went back for my doctorate, and I'm still using it full bore.
Why?
Because, I just knew that I wasn't finished. I had gotten my master's way back at Lewis and Clark, and master's in public administration. And public administration, because I represent my clients, are regulated by the public sector, and so I work with the public sector in regulatory work for them. And my son was going through his doctorate in a doctorate of ministry at George Fox, and he was reporting to me every week. And every week I thought, I could do that. And then I thought, I'm not done. And so I went back.
You also go to England to go to school.
Well, that's true. I go back.
I know it's true.
I know. I'd sort of forgotten that for a moment because I didn't get to go this year. I've been there for 3 years, but not this year. I plan to go back next year. I go to Cambridge University and do postdoctoral. And it's generally in international business and like business economics, things that relate to my work.
Let's go back to the Rotary question,
yes.
question for a couple of minutes. Are there parameters that people have to adhere to join Rotary, to be a Rotarian?
It's by invitation, and they're generally business people in town, and they are generally at a management level, but not always. And so members usually invite members. And I should mention that I said we wrote checks. Last year, we wrote $65,000 in checks that came from our members' pockets.
That's a lot of money.
So it's a lot of money. Plus, through our dues, we also did another approximately $3,000, a little over, to the Rotary International Foundation for international products and the polio eradication program. But we support through just our own fundraising out of our own pockets. We support the Lincoln County Food Pantry. We support the Lincoln County Schools Help Homeless Program, Backpack and Stuff a Bus, Lincoln City Parks and Rec, Family Promise, the Youth League Sports Program, North Lincoln Hospital Foundation, Angels Anonymous, Young Life.
Some of my passions as well.
Yes. And then we had, our giving was for also about $2,000 for an international project in Senegal, Africa, for a water project there. And plus then the $15,000 in scholarships that we gave from Christmas wreaths. And then we, out of our own money, not through any grants, $40,000 for Music in the Park. That's the Legacy, the Plaza project at the Cultural Center.
Well, we will see you on September 1st. I see it's on the list. Backpack Stuff a Bus program, $1,000 from Rotary. I will see you at the Lincoln City outlets and happily accept that check.
Thank you.
Estill Harlan,
Yes.
Dr. Estill Harlan has been our guest. We'll continue in just a moment.
Northwest Septic Service is your one-stop shop for all your septic needs.
Northwest Septic Service offers pumping, maintenance, repair, and inspections with one call, 541-994-6977.
Buying or selling a home? Northwest Septic Service can inspect your sewer line or an entire septic system.
Old or failing septic system? Northwest Septic Service can rejuvenate most drain fields, saving you thousands of dollars. 541-994-6977.
Serving Lincoln, Tillamook, and Yamhill counties, Northwest Septic Service. Charlotte Latho, Farmers Insurance, and a whole lot more.
That's right, a whole lot more. I have been a farmer's insurance agent for 23 years. Can you believe that?
Counting them up, Charlotte.
I am counting them up, and I'm getting ever closer to retirement, but not soon. I'm a bit a ways away from that. But yes, we do auto and home insurance and life insurance through Farmers Insurance Group of Oregon, but we also do health and Medicare. Health and Medicare insurance is very near and dear to my heart, and certainly here in the Lincoln County area, because we have lots of folks who are retired, which is pretty groovy.
You are really an expert when it comes to health insurance. You've got a passion for it.
I do. I'm a geek. I ruin dinner parties because that's what I want to talk about. Health and Medicare. So Medicare truly is my passion. I love the field, the industry of Medicare. I think it's fascinating. I like health insurance equally well, but Medicare truly is my passion. I love walking clients start to finish, applying for their Medicare benefits, understanding their options under the Medicare system, and likewise helping them enroll and finding the plan that is just right for them, because Medicare is very individual, just like health insurance, well, just like auto and home insurance too.
I wanted to have you talk a little bit about something that you've started with the News Guard, and that's reaching the Hispanic community.
Yes, it is amazing. Earlier this year, our agency partnered with the News Guard to launch a Spanish publication, and I am so thrilled with the response that we have gotten. What we're doing is we're reaching out to our local Hispanic community to try and draw them into our circle, to make them part of our community, to help them feel valued, loved, to help them feel like they are certainly accepted and uplifted and informed. That's the important thing, informed about things that are going on within our community and relevant to their particular community as well.
That really holds true to all segments of the society.
Absolutely. You bet it does. You bet it does. But you know, the Hispanic community, I think by and large, especially probably in rural areas, tends to be underserved, tends to be under-recognized, and in some instances maybe not treated as fairly as they should. But we want to make sure that our Hispanic community understands that they are loved and they are appreciated, hence the reach out of the Spanish publication.
Last but not least, Charlotte Latho Insurance Agency is located where?
We are located right next to the Wildflower Grill in beautiful North Lincoln City. Phone number 541-994-2884.
And available quite long hours.
Oh, gosh, you know me. I mean, if you need to come and see me on a Saturday or a Sunday or an evening, I'm your girl. Just give me a call. I'm there for you every step of the way.
Charlotte Latho, Farmers Insurance, Lincoln City. Welcome back to our special podcast we're talking about activities that benefit children, and one of the biggest activities that benefit children is the Backpack Food Program and the Stuff-A-Bus program. With me is Karen Doomer, one of the founders of the Backpack Food Program, correct?
I am.
Why? What brought that about?
Well, I worked for the school district for several years, and a lot of times I knew that kids were going home on weekends and not having enough food in their home. And you could see it like on Monday when they were first in line for breakfast. And on Thursdays or Fridays, they were asking kids, are you going to eat that apple? Don't throw it away. I'll take it home with me. So you knew those kids didn't have enough food. So we started a program kind of in my office where I had a few volunteers that come in on Friday and whip out sandwiches. And they'd bring snacks in, apples or oranges, things like that. And we had bags sitting by my door in my office. And the kids that really needed it knew where my office was. And they were there every Friday grabbing a bag to take home with them. So it needed to be something larger than what I was doing just out of my office. So that's when we started the program.
Now, the program continues during the summertime as well, correct?
Yes, it does. We do out boxes of food with families in the summer, and they sign up for it, and we make sure they get one large box of food with bread and fruit and some meat in it and all that stuff every month in the summertime.
Is there a means testing that you say, I got to look at your income report before we'll give you a box of food?
Nope, you just have to know. I have to know if you have a child or not. And this food is only for the children. We ask the parents to kind of abstain from eating the food, that we want to provide it for the children in their homes. So that we don't make them go through any federal documents or any kind of things that they have to sign. Just to give us a call and we'll put your child on the program.
And how do we do that? Who do I call?
Well, we have it listed online at backpacksforkids.com, so they can go into that and look it up online and find somebody. And then I've got other people, Nancy Oxenholtz one. I have a Pat Robertson here in town. I think you know her. So to get those phone numbers, we can give those phone numbers out. But at the schools, we also have a form that if you just ask at the school when you're there, they have a form that we give them to fill out at the main office in all the schools here.
Now, during the summertime, you give boxes of food out. Is that the same thing that happened during the school year, or you go back to the backpacks?
Well, we have a few places that we do backpacks or individual bags. Head Start's one of them. At the high school, the 7th through 12, we have a pantry up there where the kids can go in every week and choose food to take home with them. We haven't got back into the schools, Ocean Lake yet, or Taft Elementary for backpacks. We're hoping to maybe swing that this year. COVID kind of put a stop for any volunteers going into the buildings. We still, during COVID, continued to give food to the families. They just had to come here, and then we loaded it in their cars for them. And we're still doing that kind of program now. It's been pretty successful. But, yeah, there are kids out there that I know are not getting food, and it'd be easier if I could just hand them their own bag to take home on weekends. And that's hopefully what I'm going to get back to this year.
You've had a lot of volunteers over the course of the number of years you've been doing this, have you not?
Yes, I have. And if I didn't have my volunteers, I wouldn't be doing this. It's been great. I could have up to about 50 volunteers at any given time helping me. The community supports everything we do. Right now, we're doing a peanut butter and jelly, mainly peanut butter. We do it every July. So we raise most of the peanut butter, which is one of the staples that I give out all the time to the kids. And I haven't had to buy a jar of peanut butter for a few years because this community has really stepped up, made sure we got that.
And we're talking about hundreds of jars of peanut butter.
We're talking about 2,700 jars of peanut butter that we give out. So, it's a very important part of that and some of the stuff that we hand to our kids. So,
now, one of the other things that is in your bailiwick, if you will, is the Stuff-A-Bus program, September 1, Lincoln City outlets.
Yes, we have the Stuff-A-Bus program. It's been a program going on for several years, too. Kind of goes into our program. There's not a kid in this community that has to go without school supplies because this Stuff-A-Bus program handles every supply you need on the first day of school when you go. So, and I kind of have to say, it's this guy named Roger that's kind of caused this problem in our community. So the Stuff-A-Bus is a huge program. We all put into that all year long to make sure that all these kids have it. And then some of the products stay here and aren't with us. And so if any of the schools are low on something, crayons, folders, any of that kind of stuff, they just call us and we make sure they get them.
It is amazing to me the number of businesses here in town that really just get all over the Stuff-A-Bus program. We mentioned Lincoln City outlets. There's Moe's, there's Chinook Winds. I mean, huge dollars to give. Nike store.
Yes, Nike's been great. Having the mall involved has been a big thing. We have the bus companies involved by giving you that bus that kind of advertises, this is what we call it, Stuff-A-Bus. We're going to stuff that bus as full as we can to get the supplies out. But we get backpacks, we get shoes, we get everything you can think of that these kids need.
Lincoln City Gifts in the mall will be selling bags, or backpack bags, already full of school supplies at a discounted price, so people can buy them. They just leave them right there, and all of that comes to us.
Well, that's a great idea. So I don't have to go shopping for all these supplies individually at Bi-Mart or somewhere in town. I can just go buy a backpack and turn around and hand it back to them and say, make sure that you guys get it, right?
It all comes directly to the Stuff a Bus program.
That's great. That's great.
Again, it's the community doing this.
Our community, when I tell people what our community does with all the different programs that we have going, they are shocked that the people that actually live in our community, and we're not a huge community. I mean, we're a huge community population when summer comes, when everybody shows up that has houses here. But the people that live here and keep this community running, it's the best place to be.
It is also quite rewarding to me to look around and the number of people that come out to help with the Stuff a Bus, that help with the backpack food program, probably don't have any children in the school system or have ever had children in the Lincoln County school system.
That's true. I have one lady that's going to be 81 here next week that has been with me for several years now. She drives up to Portland every 2 weeks and picks up all of the bread that Dave's Killer Bread donates to our program. I have another lady that's 86, and she volunteers every time to come in and help me fill boxes of food. So, yeah, you don't have to have a child in this program to volunteer. I love these people. They come in, they're dependable, and, it's just kind of fun.
It is rewarding, to say the very least, to live in a community that has the heart of what this one does.
Yes, it is. This community is the best. Can't say any more. That's just the best.
Okay, Karen, if you've got a wish for the backpack food program, that's going to be what?
I just hope that all these kids get fed. I hope that all those kids that I'm not connecting with, the parents, the kids that need food, they will get fed this year at school. That this program is going to continue. As long as these kids have needs in this community, we're going to continue doing it.
And they should contact who and how?
They can contact Roger and Pat Robertson. I just threw your name in there, Roger. It's top of the list. Pat's been a supporter and a partner with me from the get-go because we worked together at the school. And when I said, hey, I got this program, she goes, okay. And she went home and told you, and it just went like fire all over this community. But then also Nancy Oxenholt, board president, she kind of helps run this thing. If she could contact either one of those, that would really be a big start. Or go to your school's office when they open and say, I'm interested in the program. They'll give you the paperwork.
Karen Doomer, Backpack Food Program, Stuff a Bus. It's all about kids and helping kids. We'll continue in just a moment.
I'm Adina Zeller. Zellers is now in 2 North Lincoln County locations. The original Zellers in Rose Lodge and now Zellers in Lincoln City, formerly Maxwell's. Zellers with great family food and kickin' fun like our line dancing. Just wait until you try our homemade clam chowder.
It's great to live in a community that has so many people that really care about their neighbors and friends and the children. Our special thanks to our guests from the Rotary, Kiwanis, the Backpack Food Program for joining us today. And again, if you don't belong to a service club, this is your opportunity to get involved and be involved with one of the clubs in the Lincoln City area that is doing good things for the Lincoln City area, the county, and of course the rest of the world. Upcoming, we want to draw your attention to August 5. It's Art on the Beach again. It's a sand raking contest. Let me say that again. It's a sand raking contest. Want to know what that's all about? Go to cascadehead.org and look it up on the web, and you'll find out more about the sand raking contest. I'm just intrigued by that. Speaking of sand, we have the Sandcastle Building Contest, August 12th. That's going to be in the Bay Area of Lincoln City, sponsored by Moe's. And we'll have Frank on in the upcoming week or two to talk about that Sandcastle Building Contest. Surf City and Sound Off at Chinook Winds to support Angels Anonymous, August 26th, 27th. And September 1, help us stuff a bus. See that bus at the Lincoln City outlets and stuff it with all the back-to-school supplies children in our greater Lincoln City area will need. That'll do it to the Doings on a Double R show. Please remember to like, subscribe, and share so you and your family and friends around the world and across the street can join us on the Double R Show. For Paul, I'm Roger. Have a happy day.
You've been listening to The Double R Show. Join Roger and Paul Robertson as they explore everything about North Lincoln County. The Double R Show, produced by Always Productions and hosted by Roger Robertson. Have a story? Email contact@alwaysproductions.com or call 458-201-3039. For The Double R Show, I'm Jana Grahn.